Hi, I'm Khutso and I am addicted to Married at First Sight Mzansi. And I think you are too. Hi, Khutso. Guys, I found myself engrossed in the world of Married at First Sight Mzansi. I have done an initial recap of episodes 1, 2, and 3 in my first video. I'm sure it's floating around somewhere in the atmosphere. And now I'm back doing another recap of episodes 4 to 7. You're in for a wild ride. You're in for a wild ride, and I love it for you. We are all obsessed. We are all here for the drama. So let's get into it. Episode 1. Oh, sorry. Episode 4. Episode 4 opens up with all of the couples gossiping about all the other couples. As you can remember, in episode 3, it ended with the couples dinner where they all met each other, and now they're talking about their first impressions of said couples. It's that thing where couples come together and gossip. Married people are gossip mongers. Gossip mongers. Hey! Listoanelo and Khutso are discussing the couples. One couple in particular is Thabang and Makhumo. They say that they are the biggest personalities within the whole group. Essentially that they are copies of each other. It's giving twins. Then we go to Thabang and Makhumo in their apartment, and we find that Makhumo finally cooked to Thabang's elation until he tastes her food and is like, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, ngizosuta, I'm eating, at least I'm not gonna die. So that's that on that. Sebenzile and Boitshepo, when they talk about the other couples, they mainly speak of Thami's callous delivery about the crybaby comment to Zithobile, and how Zithobile literally had glass eyes. She was about to burst into tears at the table. And they're like, people are going through it. People are going through it. I think it is a mark of maturity on Sebenzile's part to understand that his delivery is not make sure his delivery is unceremonious and is not gentle, and he needs to work on that. Thami apparently takes great offense to what B said about him not picking up after himself. The comment about him, just pick up after yourself. It's not that deep, right? He did take offense, and what he thought of Boitshepo is that she is a dragon lady essentially and will swallow Sebenzile up. Boitshepo's personality is quite big. She's quote unquote too much according to Thami, and she needs to tone it down a bit and let her man lead essentially. Zithobile, when they are talking about Thabang and Makhumo, she does express that she thinks that Makhumo is too young for marriage and her actions match her age, and she shouldn't be here. And I agree, she shouldn't. She's not even there for filming most of the time because of work. And I'm not saying she needs to quit, but make time. You make time for the things you want, and it feels like and looks like she doesn't want this. Production takes Kumo and Thabang out for a date. This is their first date. Since they went to the massage parlor, they are taken out to do horseback riding, and there is a cute little picnic set up in the wilderness, in the sticks, you might say, while they are getting ready to go on their date. Kumo does pepper Thabang with many questions, like, when am I going to meet your family? And he tries to dip and dive and to essentially not answer the question, and he is successful. Try as she may, he is successful. So they get to their date, they are at the picnic spot, and it's really cute, right? They are sitting in their camp chairs and they are enjoying nature. And Makhumo once again asks, when am I going to meet your family?
When am I meeting your family? Hey, dia kama dile.
Musa mnetu.
Batung abuti o. When am I meeting your family?
I want to tell you this. Like, you have to meet my family?
I just want to get it over and done with.
Why?
Because I feel like it's just that one thing that's missing. Us bringing our family, well, not bringing them together, but like, you know, the vibe.
It's Khutso, and I need you to stop pushing this thing. And I'm being serious.
You always avoid the conversation or the question. I'm not forcing a relationship there, but I want the assurance that when the time comes, I will be granted that opportunity.
You will meet them.
Okay.
And how will the dowry situation work out since they reverse engineered everything? Thabang continues to evade and avoid the conversation. And Makhumo comes out and says, why are you avoiding the conversation? I've been trying to talk to you about this, and you are like dipping and diving and doing karate moves. What is going on? And essentially he does say, we reverse engineered everything. So it's a question of having conversations with my parents, and then you having conversations with your parents, and then coming together and coming to a solution. That's where it ends. The couples also then get a box sent by the experts. They get an honesty box that is packed with questions that initiate deeper, honest conversations. Zithobile, her question to Thami is, what have you noticed about yourself and your character within a marriage setting? And Z obviously has noticed that she even has said that she is quite an emotional person, and many people don't know how to handle that. And her overtly emotional state is one of the many ways she shows how she feels inside, and Thami should become in tune with that. Like, it's not an indicator of he's a horrible person, it's an indicator of how she's feeling within. Sebenzile gets a question of, do you have feelings for your ex? And he answers, absolutely I do.
Do you still have feelings for an ex?
For an ex?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
He answers yes. And, you know, I commend his honesty, but B's face when he says yes, when he connects the dots himself, that his honesty is going to give him issues, he tries to dig himself out of it and says, no, man, you know those feelings where you appreciate what they've done for you? Those are the feelings that I'm feeling for her. I know I'm not going to go back. He essentially goes down a dark, deep rabbit hole and digs deeper and deeper and deeper for himself.
It doesn't sit well with me. Mphathisa khanda, if anything, hey. But I don't have control over another person's feelings, hey. It is what it is.
Yeah, but you appreciate your appreciation. Yeah, but Konama feelings of love and romance and what.
So what feelings do you feel for her then? Appreciation.
Yeah, feelings of you showed me this and I appreciate that about you.
I'm sure it wasn't nice for him, but it was quite funny. It was like, save yourself, sir. Save yourself. Save yourself. Save our His initial very dismal, very basic explanation is not flying with B. She's like, I'm Anguza. I'm not hearing what you're saying. What you're saying to me is not making sense. He goes on to say, no, I just have a soft spot, but you must know that I'm not going to go back to her. Never, ever, ever. And she just continues to eat her ice cream and giving him that look of, whatever you say, sir, I'll just believe your actions and not what you say. Makhumo gets the question, what is the worst relationship experience you've ever had? And she goes into this tale of how she dated this man who looked so good in public, but behind closed doors, he was non-hygienic. He was just dirty. His place was dirty. His hygiene was dirty. Everything that people never got to see in public was dirty. She didn't have a great time with that guy. They even made a joke. Thabang asked, like, would you tell me if my breath stank? And she was like, no, you'll just find mints strategically placed everywhere in the house so that you can get the picture. Dee and Khutso are asked the question, what do you consider as cheating? And they agree that you going out with a colleague of the opposite sex is considered cheating. There's no qualms about it. There's no debate. There's no, but there was a, what are you doing with someone you work with outside of work? Just that. What are you doing with someone who you are working with outside of the work environment? You are cheating, sir. You are cheating, ma'am. So that's where they are. B and Sebenzile also get the question, what do you think of friends of the opposite sex? And B is like, I don't think we should have friends of the opposite sex. Our grandparents didn't do it, and we aren't going to do it either. She put her foot down and was like, Abuti, not in this relationship. We are not going to do that. Case closed. Thami and Zithobile get another question pertaining to intimacy. So they get the question, what is your favorite time of day to do it? And Zithobile says, no, in the morning for me is the best time. It's my favorite time, actually. And Thami's like, but in the morning, you know, we are all busy and in a rush to get to work. There's no time for us to do those things. And in his diaries, he does say, she obviously doesn't want to do it with me. She doesn't want to have that intimate relationship with me because she is choosing the most inconvenient time to have with me. That means, in my mind, she doesn't want to do it. Thami also reveals that the only time him and Zithobile consummated their marriage was when they moved in to the apartment that first day. And then it has been the Sahara Desert ever since. The way he says it, it's like, I'm suffering. I only got it one time. Oh my God. Only once. Can you imagine? Impilenje, this kind of life is not what we do. Oh, the way he says it is very ick. Bruh, like, stop. You don't know each other. She doesn't know you. Now you want her to stick your thing in her body. Hi. Thami, please, you need to relax. He needs to stop putting the same expectations of a married couple that have been together for years and years on a marriage that is just 3-4 weeks old. He needs to stop. Thami, imagangani. You have to pump the brakes, sir. Pump the brakes. And Z comes at the question in a way of, but to me isn't as important as it is to maybe the next person. For me, emotional intimacy is where it's at first, before we can move into all of the other departments of what makes a relationship work. So Thami needs to just understand that he's dating someone quite different to him, someone who thinks quite differently to him, and he needs to take his time. Stop thinking about sex all the time and being like, I'm suffering. It's the Sahara Desert. I'm suffering. And listen to his wife. If he listens to his wife and does what she needs him to do, the floodgates will open. This is a message to all of the men. If you listen to your wife and you actually do what she says she needs you to do, the floodgates will open. Your life will be so much easier. That simple. The ladies and the gents get a night out. And this is where there's a girls' talk and there's a guys' debriefing. They'll obviously share like how marriage is really like without their partner hovering and being like, say the right thing, we're in public. So the girls come together and they look amazing. Kumo, that dress, Kumo's dress, I want it. She needs to plug us. Sebenzile, well, he's happy. He's like, Like, my marriage is what I make it, so I'm not going to cut and paste other people's ideas of what marriage is into mine. Me and Boitshepo have talked and are creating something that is exclusively ours.
That I make my own decisions. Angilandeli any custom, angilandeli any tradition ukuthi umama mele yenze kanje or emshadweni kuyabekezelwa what. It's all about the dynamic here.
That's what I also said with my wife.
And they end up having the indoda must conversation. This conversation brings out a lot of qualms about how marriage is supposed to be. Thami is all about, yes, indoda must, I can do it. And then the woman needs to be like at home.
The important.
The minute upress umuntu ukuthi yenza sona so uzobuya nakuwe athi indoda must.
Exactly.
No, my man, if you can't do that.
You prefer that? I get paid.
I know that
it's an endless list, Thami. It's an endless list.
Must endlessly do things
every day.
You manage that.
As long as I'm not going to be cooking, I'm not going to be washing dishes, I'm not going to be actually doing my own laundry. I think I can go with.
Marawa is your own laundry. Yeah.
I'm a married man.
Oh, Nkosiyami.
So Thami is the very same person that we're trying to not be to be.
While Sebenzile and Khutso are like, no, man, we're just making marriage the way we want our marriage to look like. It's not a cut and paste situation. It's not a one size fit all. So with the guys, they're like, yo, so guys, like, are you guys happy with how your partners look? And Sebenzile, he's like, yeah, she's everything. She's 100%. And we're happy for him. It's like, happy people sometimes, they don't make for great television. They're like happy all the time. It's great for them, but like... the experts did a good one there. Like, the experts hit a jackpot. They hit a jackpot with them. Yeah, man. Thami, on the other hand, his friends, if you remember, did say that Thami does not like fat people. He goes on to say that he's not happy about her size, but he is happy that she's got a beautiful shape. It's like a compliment, but not. Does Thami not like her? You would say he does not, because that's really not a compliment. Do you like her or not, sir? Do you like her or not? And he didn't even answer. He was just on the fence. But according to his friends, he doesn't like her. The girls, they asked Z whether she would recommend marriage to her friends, people she knows, people she loves, people she is close to. Z says, no way, I'm not going to do that. I'm not even happy in my own marriage. Things aren't going great at the moment. It's Bayagoa. It's not going well. She looks like she's about to cry. It's quite sad. It's quite sad. She's not giddy. She's not giggling like the other ladies. It's very clear that she's not happy. And in her diary, she does explain that she does feel very isolated and alone in her misery, because she looks like she's the only one who's not having fun. She's not having fun. Thami, he's another issue. He's another topic altogether. But she is not having fun. She's not finding the experiencing fulfilling like the other ladies. Because the other ladies, they're giddy. They're like, ooh. When they do ask the question of, have you guys consummated? Everyone is like, yes. And it was nice. 1, 2, 3. Except for Kumo. Kumo is very evasive, and it's like, no, I wouldn't tell you if I did it or not. If you think I did, then I did. If you think I didn't, then I didn't. And B is like, this woman wants to know everyone's business, but when we ask her about hers, she's very, very private, very evasive, and it's like, I'm not going to tell you anything I don't want to tell you. And Z also, she was like, to that question. She was like, yeah, like, and how was it? And she was like, She was like, Thami isn't doing Thami isn't doing the Lord's work, apparently. And you can see it on her face. Khutso, when it comes to his wife, he's like, guys, I'm an ass man. You know, I need a fat bum. And D doesn't have it. But I like her thighs, you know, like I'm working with what I've got. It's like, yeah, I'm working with what I've got. It's there, but it's not as big as you would like it to be. And he does say that, no, I didn't see it initially. I thought maybe it was there because she was wearing her wedding dress was an A-line situation, so you couldn't truly see her figure from the waist down. Now that he has seen everything she has to work with, he's like, I'm working with it. She's got nice thighs. Nice thighs though. Nice thighs. So B complains that in front of the cameras, Makhumo is putting on an act, and behind the cameras she will complain about Thabang and how he really is and how her marriage really is like. She isn't showing her authentic self, and Boitshepo isn't up for that. Before the ladies' night ends, Z reveals that there is close to zero emotional intimacy between her and Thami. And that's quite sad, guys. That's really sad. I understand why she's crying all the time now. Like, I get it, sis. I see you. I know what I understand now why you have been crying and trying to communicate to this man that, no, this is what I need. And him not giving it to you. He's like, no, annoying. Thami at the gents' night reveals that Zithobile believes that it was made to be enjoyed by men only. She's just there as a vessel, but not there to actually enjoy and partake in the pleasure. And all of the guys are like, which is a good sign. Is a good sign. Is a good sign. That means they care that they are pleasuring their partners. So that's a good sign. And they talk more about it. And while they're talking, Thabang interjects with a stupid comment about how Zithobile looks like those ones who have with her headscarf on. And I was like, shut up your mouths. Shut up your mouths. He's so condescending. So condescending, I don't like. And that's where it ends. Me mad. We're both mad. We're just like, Thabang has problems. Episode 5. Boitshepo and Sebenzile talking about the state of Thami and Zithobile's marriage and how B is very worried and she will go and have a girl talk with her. Sebenzile also ends up having a guy debriefing with Thami as well. She also talks about how Kumo is a straight up liar and is not authentic to the experience and when the cameras are on, and she clocks that this girl is just here to play in our faces and just take up space for free. And I agree. In their conversation or their debrief, guys talk, he does bring up again the issue of how Zithobile doesn't really think is also made for her pleasure. So then we go to consummation of the marriage comes up and they talk about that, and Thabang is like, bangenapi, like it's none of their business and things like that. But other people's kids answered, but only you have the privilege to not answer at all. Kind of something is not right. Kumo is literally, Thabang and Kumo are playing in our faces. They are there for games. I just want them off my screen because they're not participating. Only 8 of you have ever gone through this Mzansi experience, the South African one. That's another story. That's just a mess. But this Mzansi version of Married at First Sight, this is your experience and you need to share. Khutso does say that D will only meet his daughter once he's spoken to his co-parent. That's a very responsible thing to do. Kudos to you, Tepo. Kudos to you, Khutso. Wow. I like him, man. Good head on his shoulders. Love it for him. D, on the other hand, expresses that she wants her son to meet Khutso immediately, really quick, in a hurry, so that she can see how they are with each other, how Khutso actually parents so that she can tweak here and there, because it seems like she would change everything if she could, and they can be on the same page with parenting styles. Zithobile visits Boitshepo for her girls' talk, while Thami goes to Sebenzile, or is it Sebenzile that goes to Thami's apartment for a guys' talk? Zithobile shares with Boitshepo that she and Thami have very different communication styles. They are not hearing each other, they are not listening to each other, and essentially they are living two separate lives, even though they share the same bed, the same house. She even says that she thought marriage would be easier, which you can't blame her, because expectations are something that is a human thing. It's inescapable. And for her to expect that is not wrong. But with the situation she does have, they do need to change it up a bit, talk more, listen when the other person speaks, so that they can start connecting properly. Sebenzile, on the other hand, advises Thami that he needs to be more gentle with his words and be a gentleman about it. He has to discern which topic about in a group setting and which topic to talk about in a private setting. And that's really good advice. Thami has been a menace this whole time. If he had been matched with anyone else within the group of ladies, he would not have said anything close to what he's been saying to and about Zithobile so far. Sebenzile also does say that they need to speak more, and in that they will actually get to know each other and get their expectations met in that way. Thami then goes on to say that, no man, I just feel like I need to change her and morph her into what I would like a wife to be. And that's just dumb as I was just like, this man actually said that out loud. And I can't with Thami, guys. I can't with this man. He should just marry a doll. Be those people who marry dolls and objects and be happy forever, because he can definitely morph that doll, that object, that whatever into whatever he wants it to be. We are dealing with people. He is dealing with a human person with a whole past. So he can't just say and try and manipulate her to be what he wants her to be. Like, that just is so manipulative. You know what the danger is? Thami and his manipulative ways. Zithobile brings up this issue of getting her man to do what she needs, and has also tried to ask other ladies around her, how do you do that? And B actually says, no man, even I struggled with it. But the thing is, you have to ask, you have to express what it is you need help with. That is the only way you can either get your needs met or not. The worst answer you can get is a no. If you don't ask, he won't know. Agasi Sangoma, he's not a psychic. Oh, guys, seems to be very high on Thami's list of things, which is, it's fine. It's one of the love languages. That's how he receives love. But Zithobile, on the other hand, is expecting to be loved in the form of actions and words. And Thami, there's a big disconnect. There's a chasm. Someone will fall inside of the hole. It's a whole chasm where a whole grown person can fall through. Because Thami will not open his mind. He can open his mind to moving to Dubai, but when it comes to his wife, he's like, no, things have to be this. He's giving me a lustro. I'm mad on Zithobile's behalf. I'm fuming. It's like, this man, they should not be together. Thami and Zithobile are clashing, and it's not make sure. Thabang and Makhumo then go to therapy. We are in therapy with Dr. Anele. They are there to open the communication lines, get deeper with each other, and connect. Dr. Anele inquires about the state of their relationship, and both of them are like, yeah, we're great. It's awesome. But within that, we are doing great. They are sort of like missing each other. One is saying this thing that goes that way, and the other is like saying this thing that's going that way. They are not on the same page whatsoever. And Dr. Anele clocks that. And he also brings up how the way they communicate is very combative and passive aggressive, especially on Kumo's side.
Sure. I can't even explain to him what's happening with me because we haven't reached that point of trust like that.
All right. Anyway.
Is that your excuse?
Well, does it suffice? It's substantial.
That's the reason. Okay, excuse.
Aye, baby.
Okay. That was a very interesting dynamic.
What?
What?
What just happened now? You passed each other.
Kumo will fight with you first before she answers anything. She can literally turn anything into an argument, and then now you are fighting for no reason. Only so that she doesn't answer the actual question. This marriage, guys, this marriage, well, your number way. Dr. Anele also says that they are only connecting on the surface level. There's no depth, no nothing. They are just people who are there on the experiments. But it's a TV.
I'm hearing from both of you is that there's a general sense of struggling to connect with each other at an emotive, deeper level. From a point of where we are now, we need to start at helping these people to develop a sense of connection. I think we can park it there for today.
Filling up space for no reason. Zero. Nada. Nil. Ikanda. A whole egg. Which came first, the egg or the chicken? Kanda. As we go to Z and Thami, right? Zithobile tries to escape production. She is emotionally overwhelmed. She's like, guys, don't come close to me. Don't ask me anything. I just need a moment. I need a moment. And what does production do? Gaslights her, saying, no, you need to share everything, even when you are overwhelmed. What if Muyumtana comes at you and hits you? And then now whose fault is it? They gaslit her into staying and being filmed as she breaks down. Why couldn't they give her a moment? Angazi. They need to learn decorum. Production needs to learn decorum. When people say, give me a moment, you don't come up to them and force them to be on camera. That was not okay. Them gaslighting her and then convincing her to stay and be on camera as she broke down and talked about her feelings of like, she's tired emotionally, mentally, she is tired. She is on this experiment that only 7 other people, but no, the show must go on. I want drama, but not like this, guys. Not at the expense of someone's mental health. That is something I don't like. They even say, no, you need to be yourself on camera. Like, she's literally crying. She is crying for help. Let her cry in private, please. I wanted to, like, clothesline the whole crew. So she reluctantly shares that she is quite tired, like her marriage isn't going the way she expects. Everything is just falling apart. She needs a break mentally. And she finally spills everything that's been inside of her and tells Thami how what he said and done has made her feel so far. Apparently, Thami tells her to her face that no, when you cry, you spoil the mood. And to her, that is very hurtful.
How must I do things around you? How must I talk to you?
Be gentle. Sometimes I feel like you're not gentle, Velu. You just say whatever you want to say, and then I must just... And I'm not like that.
That is sort of condescending to the way she expresses herself. Thami is like, no, Mara, she cries over the smallest things. And in his diaries, Thami does say her crying doesn't make him feel good. And also it makes him look like an abuser when he's actually not.
I will find alternative ways to talk to you, but I think for to rise with you. So, very cool. If you're not here to be hurt, It feels very bad. I'm a very bad person.
And it's giving me that thing of he cares what people think more than he cares what his wife is feeling. So I'm like rocking back and forth, and I'm like, why? So he's like there physically and things like that, but what he said, it's not connecting, it's not coming together. The continents aren't meeting, as Jessie Wu would say. Thami breaks down. Zithobile is surprised, pleasantly so, that at least this robot has feelings. He does.
To see him be emotional, yeah, that shook me a little bit. I didn't know he could get like that.
I does feel a little bad that he's making me feel this way and making me cry all the time. They talk about they need to come together and make it work. They've been sort of tiptoeing around each other because since they don't know who they are married to, they don't know how to act. When Thami says and does this, she cries. When she does this, Thami's like, you are spoiling everything. Now you are too sensitive. Oh my God, what kind of wife is this? Thami! Guys, I'm tired. Thami. Makhumo then goes to meet her aunt. They're literally the same age, hey? Like, they look the same age. And she then tells her aunt, I'm married. She's living with her husband. And the aunt is so shocked. Naturally, so she's like, when did this happen? Why did you do this? And the aunt does express that she is fearful of what the family will say because apparently Kumo and herself are the only two girls in the family. So dowry is a given. Before all of these shenanigans, reality show be damned, Mahadi should have been paid. Now I understand why she was always badgering Thabang about the dowry question and conversation. She would be like, no, but when, now I understand. She's one of two girls in the family. So it's going to be a big issue. And she's trying to let him know that, guy, please fix your affairs. Because if you want to marry me, you need to have a plan, sir. Dr. Anele once again comes to the rescue. Books a session for Thami and Zithobile. He comes in and is like, what's going on, guys? After the couple unloads what is going on with their marriage, Dr. Anele says, no, man. Everyone needs to relax into the experience. You need to take the experience day by day and not fight it. Only then will you start to enjoy it. And they need to stop putting so much pressure on themselves with their expectations and what they got. They need to work with what they have and not put so much pressure on a marriage that is so new, on a connection that is so new. He also divulges that they are so worried about doing everything right that they're missing out on actually having fun and getting to know each other and enjoying the experience itself. In response to the whole, thing, the ladies and the guys, they're invited to do activities pertaining to intimacy. The wives are invited to like a pajama party with, I don't remember her name, but we love you, doctor. The husbands are then invited they go to a cooking class. The wives, they talk all things intimacy. The toys are brought out. They share stories. And now we see who's the more adventurous of them all. Zithobile, not so much. She essentially shrinks when they start to talk about and bring out the toys. She's like, I don't want to talk about this. She looks so uncomfortable. B, very adventurous. D also is quite open. Kumo, as always, very defensive. I'm annoyed. Why even ask her anything? Let it just be a prop. The pajama party creates an environment where everyone is open and they can talk about it for the first time as a group, really. And Z seems to be cautiously open. I think there's a bit of a hope, man. There's that thing of like Z is going to come into herself, and I love it. The guys cook, they are being taught aphrodisiacs, foods that will help the libido spike. And that's where it ends. Episode 6. Zithobile and Thami have their second therapy session with the husband and wife marriage and relationship experts. They come in, and the first thing, Zithobile is talking about what she doesn't like. Thami is also talking about what he doesn't like. And the husband of the duo is like, lay out all of your offenses, go. And the floodgates open. So Z feels like Thami doesn't really want to get to know her at all, because he had suggested that he will be in PTA in Pretoria, which is a different town to where she is right now, and only come back when they are filming. Anyone would think that, Thami, why are you shocked? Thami counters that and unceremoniously says, I don't like the fact that my wife doesn't shower before coming to bed. She just takes off her makeup, puts on the pajamas, and comes to bed. This rocked me, guys. Hey man, vele. Gutiwa Audacity was on sale, but no, it's just free for men. Hey! I was rocked to the point of I paused my television. I paused it and I was like, is this real life? Maybe I got abducted by aliens. Maybe I'm in church and connecting to the Holy Spirit. But no. He actually said that with his whole chest. In front of Pamgwabantu, in front of Pamgwama camera, on national TV for everyone to hear. This man does not take his wife seriously. This man does not care what his wife feels. If I felt like that, I wonder what Zithobile felt like. I wonder if she wanted to Superman punch him. Even God is not big enough for this one. Banele gives them a score of survival in terms of their marriage, and he says they came in at a 3 and now they are at a 5. I don't know where he got that from, but they're at a 5. He's the expert, not me. So Thami is also told by Dr. Banele that he needs to be a gentleman, say, to essentially gauge the room. Read the room, Ganani. Look around and be like, is it okay? Is it okay for me to say what I'm about to say? Thami, you're not winning any brownie points, sir. No way. It can't be. They are advised that going to bed mad at each other will kill their marriage. If you go to bed with resentment, you're going to wake up with resentment. Khutso gets to meet Dee's friends. They are out and about. They obviously meet her would-be friend, her paid actor friend Danielle, and then there's also another friend who is whom they have been friends with for a long time, since primary school days. Benny comes through also. He's a family friend, a long-time family friend, and he walks in to the meeting and is on like, nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Benny. He shakes their hands. Does Dee have friends, guys? I know making friends as an adult is very difficult, ne? But don't do that to us. Don't come on the TV and put people that you just met yesterday on the TV to meet someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with. If you have one good friend, bring that one good friend. It's fine. At least they know what kind of person you are and what you are truly looking for. D. My sister. I know it's hard. Even for me, it's hard. Even for anyone, really, it's hard. As an adult, to make friends. Pandemic ifela. Pandemic galo. The primary school friend never said a single word. Her and Daniela never said a single word. It was only Benny and Listoanelo who were asking the actual questions. We find that Dee is making Khutso wash her underwear, to Benny's shock, because Benny's like, you are abusing my brother-in-law. Why are you doing that to him? Khutso does say, no, it's weird putting in underwear, so much underwear, and hanging so much underwear. Dee did say she doesn't like to do anything, so it makes sense. She's on brand. The conversation turns to religion and whether Khutso is a religious person. Dee stops that immediately and is like, no, my ex went to church and that didn't work out. And Benny is like, but I never knew that. I never knew that he was going to church. So it begs the question, have they even met? Good family friend, but has never met your ex whom you have a child with. Essentially family. Family. So, Listoanelo. The only person who spoke was Benny. The other two paid actors were just quiet and listening in. In her diaries, she does say that she is quite fearful of what her very traditional, very strict mother will say about what she's done. She's afraid that her mother will not like Khutso, which is hard to do. I mean, Khutso is quite a stand-up guy, and I say that, take that with a grain of salt because we don't know him, but he seems like a stand-up guy, very sweet, soft-souled, very quiet confidence type of thing. And I think Dee is taking advantage of that. It doesn't have beef with anyone. Khutso doesn't have beef with anyone. Makhumo goes to her family-owned business and confesses to her family that she is married, so her mom, her uncle, and also someone else is there, and her mother is pissed. Her mother loses it, and that's when we see where her character comes from, how Makhumo is. She got from her mother because, yay!
I got married at first sight.
Hello, Sisi. As a black mother, there is ways to do things. There is traditions and steps to follow. I mean, there were things I was supposed to know before things happen. Is this you married or key example?
I'm married. Married.
So what are you saying? Is this as my daughter, I tried very hard to be close to her, to be her friend. I hoped that should she be in a position of being in a transition like this, I'll be the first person to talk to. But here we are.
So how old is the guy?
He's 28.
I am a shockhead. Very close to funeral.
That lady is already heartful, she hasn't even met Thabang yet. She's like, I'm very close to funeral. And I don't even hear what you're saying. What did you say again? Dee then tells her co-parent, his name is Spiwe, about her being married and things like that, and asks him whether he is up to meeting Khutso. And he doesn't have a problem. Khutso meets Dee's mother. Woo! Her mom, judging by what she's wearing, which is a traditional shwe and a shawl over her shoulders, she looks very strict, as Dee has said many, many times before. She comes at him with the hard questions. You do know that you came in Kadi back door. You do know that you did things wrong. You have to do the dowry first, have families meet, and then marry our daughter. And Khutso does acknowledge that. He's like, yes, I understand, Ma. We did things backwards.
It's not your day, it's my day. I get.
What's the next time? Can't expect her to go south. So I prepared for the worst.
What is your plan?
When asked what he will do about it if they continue their marriage after the experiment, he says, no, we'll just have to reverse engineer everything. We'll have to talk to the families, get together and come up with a solution so that I can properly marry your daughter. Dee's mother does say, okay, I hear what you're saying. In her diaries, she does say, and also to his face, the first time you come, you will be chased back to where you come from, because what you have done already is viewed as disrespect.
We'll reverse engineer everything. Zamoira dilo right or catch up more.
More for sending.
Yeah, more for sending.
Khutso, I hope you know your duties because I was again Haarties.
And he's like, no, I understand. Khutso is very understanding of that fact, and he's a man who understands the African culture and how things should have been done, because this show, yes, you are married, but are you really? Khutso, bless his heart, he is so nervous. He can't even swallow his food. He almost chokes. Dee's mother does take mercy on him. She lets up a bit, and the conversation turns to, so do you know what the duties of a man and a woman are in a marriage? And she advises that no, the only thing a woman does is respect, and the only thing a man does is to love, and that's it. In the end, Dee's mother likes it.
I'm gonna guess, sure.
I would guess
Respect and support.
Thank you very much. Really, basadi ba energy, barata. That's where everything falls apart. Hey, horata. Ke mosebetsi wa monna e seng wa mosadi. Ka nnete ke bona le motho hantle. He's cool, collected, humble. He's a gentleman, let me say, to wrap it up.
She says he's a gentleman, that he has a good head on his shoulders, all of the good things and good qualities that make up a good husband. The conversation turns to the kids, and if everyone has met the children, and does he have a child? And he's like, yes, we both have kids. I have a daughter with my previous partner. He does understand that it's not easy for another man to let another one sort of be part of the raising and rearing of their child. And his mother is impressed, okay? She's charmed, really. I think the experts found Khutso angaziguphi, but wherever they found him, they need to go back for season 2. The couples, for their 1-month anniversary, are treated to a couples getaway to Haarties Dam. All of the couples, obviously, they pack their and they are traveling there via minibus, 2 couples in each bus. The trip there is tense. Makhumo and Thabang they had a lover spat the night before. Makhumo is on her phone the entire time trying to ignore him. Thabang is trying to touch her and actually engage her in conversation, and nothing is working. Oh, the ride there, I'm sure, for Boitshepo and Sebenzile was weird. Makhumo is giving Thabang the silent treatment. It all comes to head at the lunch break they have before they continue their travels to the getaway. Boitshepo and Sebenzile become reluctant spectators to this blowout that Thabang and Makhumo have. They looked so uncomfortable. Thabang asks Sebenzile and Boitshepo how they manage disagreements. The fight started because Makhumo, after work, went to a nail appointment, and on her list of things to do was to shop for an outfit for Thabang. But since she went to the nail appointment, her appointment ran a bit late, and the mall closed before she could get a chance to buy the outfit for Thabang. Here's the thing. The fight started because of how Thabang spoke to Makhumo. He came at her in a passive-aggressive way, in terms of, oh, so the whole day you've been spending here eating lunch instead of going and buying things for me. That's what the fight is about. It's about how Thabang talks to Makhumo in regard to what she offered to do.
We're not in a good space, and I'm not trying to be in a good space, because how dare you disrespect me like that?
Did I ever make you feel like it's a comment?
She offered to do it, but time ran away from her. Makhumo says that the way he spoke to her made her feel that she wasn't a good wife. Thabang would complain about cooking and how in the house there's never any cooked meals, but he never just does it himself. He never goes and cooks. Instead of complain. Instead of cooking, he complains. He always forgets. This is Kumo's words. He always sort of, I'm paraphrasing. He also has hands. He also has life skills. He can do these things. And Kumo feels she is a mother more than she is a wife, because she always has to remind him what to do in the house. Even with the dishes situation, when they were talking about like the splitting of house chores, he said, no, I'll wash the dishes. But here in this situation, Kumo is like, no, even with the dishes, you did agree to wash them, but they sit there for 3 days. I even have to remind you. Thabang is annoyed. You can see on his face that he is annoyed. In his diaries, he says, we agreed that we are not to fight and talk about private things in front of other people. What is being said is very alarming. Thabang thinks the world revolves around him. He thinks his wife is there to just please him and cater to him. Makhumo is tired. Makhumo even says, I am not your skivvy. I also have a life. I also have a job. I am also tired. I'm human just like you. Sebenzile and Boitshepo are like, they are really having this conversation, and it comes to a head. Finally someone breaks. Finally someone blows up, because I knew it's Mabena. I knew it's about Thabang. The couples all arrive at the getaway. They aren't really particularly happy about their rooms. And the people who aren't happy about it are, surprise, surprise, Thabang and Kumo. As all of the couples arrive, Kumo, nosy Nelly, who doesn't want to share anything about her own life, notices and asks Khutso why the long face. There is trouble in paradise. They are giving each other the cold shoulder. It's very apparent. They can't even hide it. Apparently, D has been short with Khutso, snapping at him, essentially being mean to him, and he doesn't even know why. He's like, Mina Numgam, I don't know what we're fighting about. Thami, once again, when they get to their bedroom, he cries about, why didn't you just pour me a glass of wine? Why did you refuse? And
it's no need for you not to pour just
Thami,
champagne.
I don't want to do this. Everything is like I must do.
Guys, even Zithobile is like, oh my God, why? I've been doing everything for us. There's one time I don't do one thing. It has to be broadcast to the world and put in newspapers that Zithobile didn't pour Thami a glass of wine. Yo, Mrena. She even has to apologize to shut him up. We go back to D and Khutso and their trouble in paradise. D explains that, no, I did tell him that I'm not in the greatest moods today, so he shouldn't essentially piss me off. She didn't say that last part, but I'm just adding on her behalf. When they talk and have disagreements, it seems D is told one thing, but her mind computes, right? It whirs and works and spits out something totally different. She hears what she wants to hear. And Khutso is very frustrated with that. Besides being ticked off the whole day, D has also had an altercation with her co-parent Simpiwe. She was also ticked off at the fact that Khutso had said in front of the other couple, Thami and Zithobile, that she hasn't gotten a chance to cook because they were under the impression that they would leave early for the trip. D apparently felt attacked, and she thought that he said that she didn't cook. Full stop, that's it. What are Zithobile and Thami supposed to think when he says she didn't cook? Girl is like riling herself up over misinterpreting what he said. And I think D is looking for a fight, looking for someone to be in a disagreement with, because she couldn't finish whatever disagreement she was having with her co-parent. And Khutso conveniently is there. As I've said before, therapy. Selective hearing is a thing. He said what she said, which is D hasn't had the chance to cook today. And that's how episode 6 ends. Episode 7. D, Khutso, Thami, and Zithobile go on a boat ride to see the scenery and experience Haarties dam in its majestic glory. Only they have a fight on the boat, and that white man, the driver of the boat, right, is right there, and then they are on the back end of the boat, and it's clear that he hears everything. He hears the whole altercation, but he pretends that nothing is going on, and I respect that. He's a double agent. I want that man, a double agent. Khutso is essentially giving Dee the silent treatment. He won't say a single word to her, giving her the cold shoulder. And Dee is not all about that. She wants to talk it out now. And since they are on a boat, they are stuck on the dam. There's no escape. It's like a car ride, you know. Just have that one conversation you've been wanting to have with someone inside of a car on a long trip. You can't stop and be like, I want out. You are stuck. You have to answer. Khutso, once he starts to entertain the conversation, he does say that he feels he is competing with Dee's co-parent. Her co-parent comes up almost every day, whereas his co-parent, he never talks about, he never brings up. He feels like they are essentially in a throuple. It's him, it's Dee, it's Simpiwe. Khutso says that he's been quiet and giving her the cold shoulder this whole time because he feels like when he does speak, Dee does not like what he says. So the answer for him obviously is to just be quiet. In that way, he avoids a lot of fighting, a lot of stress. Life goes on, and it goes on very smoothly for him if he just keeps quiet. Dee never lets him speak. When he is talking, she always tends to interrupt him. And thank God for Z, because Zithobile is there going, no, be quiet, he's speaking, be quiet, he's speaking. He's trying to tell you what the issue is and why he's giving you the silent treatment. The reason why Khutso is giving her the silent treatment is because he feels that he's competing with Dee's ex, her co-parent Simpiwe. He also explains that he never really talks to his ex, he co-parents. They text, they don't call, they don't video call, they don't voice call, they don't even have the chance to have a fight. But Dee had a fight with her ex that bled into her marriage, and now everything went up. He feels that her ex is a big hindrance in their marriage, and he would be the main reason the marriage didn't work out. Dee counters that and says, no, he's insignificant, interrupting him again. She's always interrupting. Yes, she says a lot of things and being like, no, if I'm the butt of the joke, and she brings up the cooking again. It's like, it's not even relevant, but she will bring it up just to say something. She's not even saying anything of value in this case. When everyone goes quiet, right, she starts to sniffle a bit. And Khutso tries to console her, but she flat out refuses. In the midst of like the awkward silence, the white man who's driving the boat is like, yeah, nah, you actually saw today, at least you saw the majestic Haarties dam. It was beautiful, wasn't it? And everyone's like, yeah, it was really nice. If I could be like that man and mind my business, yeah, hear nothing, see nothing, eh? My life would be so much easier, but yo, the boat ride is over and they are docked at the shore. Dee just like storms off the boat and is like, no, I'm out of here. I don't have to deal with this. The couples move to a different house around the same area. They move in. The house is quite beautiful. Ooh. We see Sebenzile and Boitshepo being playful, being in love, and it's cute and they're happy, but it's not conducive to reality television. So it's nice for them, but let's see the other couples who are going through reality and peace. They are not in the same WhatsApp group. The tensions obviously follow Dee and Khutso into the new house. Oh, this Dee is not a fan of the silent treatment. She further explains in her diaries that she grew up with parents who gave her the silent treatment. and she understands that it is a power dynamic, and just her saying that's a lot to unpack.
I grew up with parents that give the silent treatment. I don't play that game.
Therapy needs to locate you, my sister. You rough. You grew up really rough. And she does say that she understands that it's a power dynamic and she will not let it fly. She will not entertain it. She's bigger than that. She's going to be the bigger person.
I know it's a power dynamic. I'm not going to give in to it. You want me to come crawling back to you, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
In the new house, the girls are in the kitchen preparing, the things, the condiments to the bride. The guys are going to barbecue the bride that they are going to bride. The men hold a conference on the balcony and they ask each other, they ask Khutso, hey, my guy, like, what's going on with you and your wife, man? And he's like, guys, I really don't know. I don't know what's going on, hey?
What's bad?
What are you guys fighting about?
Mine is deep.
Actually, you gave us highlights.
Me, I could see it, like Mama Figa, like yesterday.
It was so obvious.
This tension was very obvious.
Yeah, it was so obvious.
What were you fighting about now?
That's the thing, we don't know.
You don't know? Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those. She got pissed off at someone else. And then she snapped at me.
And then they asked Thabang, hey, Thabang, so you and your wifey, does she cook? Does she do the wifely duties? Yes, she cooks, and she cooks very well. They even compare the whole wifely duties thing. Who cooks better? Does your wife know how to cook? Do you like her food? Thabang is like, when she wants the food to taste nice, she cooks very well. If she's not in the mood, the food tastes so and so,
No, but tell me, want to be important.
Mine is the best.
So that's
okay. Obvious,
Zithobile
is a chef.
Straight.
Yeah. I think
Zithobile and Boitshepo, while in the kitchen, discuss how therapy has been very helpful. Zithobile's relationship and how things are really going well now. And then the tablet of terror strikes again. There's a task that the experts deliver to the couples. The golden envelope task, which is a questions game. Once again, the couples sent in their questions for the other members of the cast. The first question is for D, who is asked who of the ladies she doesn't like and why. And she explains that it's not like I don't like anyone, I'm just not closest to Boitshepo. B gets the question, why don't you and D get along? And how she answers the same. It's like, it's not that we don't get along, guys, it's just that we haven't made effort to get to know each other in that way. So that's that on that. This gets me thinking that the group believes that Boitshepo and D are like at war or something. Some tensions must be happening behind the scenes. They only ever get to see the edit. Hey, guys, Guning. Another question comes through and it is directed at Thabang and Makhumo.
Thabang,
Fine.
Thabang.
are you happy in your marriage, bro?
Am I happy? It's not always going to be one way.
The question is, do they have vision for themselves, yes or no? And Makhumo goes on a merry-go-round and proceeds not to answer the question. She's talking about the other vision where you can see sight. And she frustrates me so much. It's like, Makhumo, take life serious. Just one time. Take it serious. One time. I mean, her husband, when a question is posed to him within this questions game, he actually answers authentically. But Makhumo is out here playing games. She's just like giving passive aggressive. It's like, why are you here then? It's really just off-putting and shows that there is no depth. Another question is posed to Boitshepo. The question is, why are you so possessive of your husband? Are you insecure or not? And she's like, no, if you're close to my heart, then it will be very apparent because I will protect you with everything I have. It's not an insecurity, it's just how I show love. Thami's sexual orientation is questioned. And he's not even offended, which is just shows or he's been dealing with this one question since forever.
You're not, I'm straight. Damn it. It was not actually something new because like I used to get accusations about that. I used to get concerns about that. I think it's about the way I look, the way I present myself.
He even said in his diaries that people have been asking me why and this and that and that, and I'm secure in my sexuality to even laugh it off, which he did. Khutso has also posed a question. So the question was, what would you change within your spouse? What he does say is that he would like his wife to make the space for him to speak freely without judgment and ridicule and being attacked. He wants to be heard for what he actually says and not what is interpreted by D. Another question is also posed, is D what you asked for? And he immediately answers, no, she isn't. I commend him for being very truthful and standing his ground, but I feel like he only stands his ground in a group setting, and that says a lot about D and what Khutso had said previously about D allowing him the space to speak and be heard. And it gives me the impression that D is sort of running like a correctional center, because now Umtana Bantu sincerely feels like he has to be quiet the whole time. The sound of his voice irritates D. His viewpoints irritate D, because if D isn't happy with what he says, what he has said is not of value. It's giving Miss Jayla. Khutso also says that he does envision a future, but only occasionally.
D is not what I asked for. In terms of the physical and also the what's inside.
You wanted a big booty girl.
To which D is like, you can physically see her recoil at that statement, and I think it's time for her to hear what he actually needs to say. It's his time now. He's taking this platform that he's been given, and he's like, today is the day I am heard. One last question is posed to everyone. The question is, what are the stumbling blocks within each relationship? Boitshepo and Sebenzile say the meeting of the families and also distance. This might be the fact that I'm not sure. Maybe they originally do live very far apart, and they are going to be having a long distance relationship if they should move forward after the experiment. Thabang and Makhumo, it's her job and the many hours that she works. For Thabang, there's very little time for them to spend together and actually connect emotionally and all the other things as well. He does mention that Kumo did ask if he will be able to cope with the hours that she does work. And he was like, yes, but the fire is burning. He's inside now, and he is seeing that and realizing that this is harder than it looks. For Khutso and D, the stumbling block is her ex, her baby father, Simpiwe. And he feels that whenever D and Simpiwe have their fight over there, that fight and those feelings that she harbors are bleeding into their marriage. All of the couples are taken aback by that because they haven't seen them necessarily overtly fight and have a disagreement. It opens a lot of eyes, especially for Thami, who's like, oh my God, I thought I had problems. Check these two out. With Zithobile and Thami, Zithobile comes out and says, guys, I don't understand whether I need to be a wife, a fan, or both. And this lightens up the mood quite a bit. Thami, the stumbling block for him is that Zithobile isn't so sure about moving to Dubai with him immediately if ever they continue the experiment going forward. Another stumbling block for him is that he has a child and Zithobile does not. And in Zithobile's past, she had a relationship with someone who had a child, and she did not like that. And to each her own, she doesn't have a child, and I feel like she is entitled to be like, I want to start a family from scratch. In the diaries, Zithobile shares that she's not even sure where she stands with the marriage. And that's fair because she has been having problems the first month of her marriage, right? So it's the next morning and the couples have their last breakfast at the villa they are at in Haarties. And surprise, surprise, Makhumo isn't there because of work again. Kanti lumuntu lona, where does she work? I know she works at an airport, but are the hours really like that? Guys, please comment below. Are the hours really that insane that you don't have like a social life anymore? At the table, Thami does say that he suspects Thabang for posing the question about his sexuality. And the reasons he gives are very valid because he's like, no, Thabang likes people's business, and I definitely think that he would want to know from the horse's mouth what really is going on. And at the table, Thabang also does reveal that he's not sure himself that Makhumo is immersed within the experiment. It's just a red flag. The most unserious person on the show says that Makhumo is unserious about the experiment. Again, he says that he is struggling to keep up and cope with her schedule. Right now, like, she isn't even at the table. And he even says, no, I have 2 glasses here so that I can cheers myself because she's not even here. A spare wheel that is not supposed to be there. Yeah, he's going through a lot. I feel like things are going to come to a head with him and her. The conversation turns to, has anyone at the table had the urge to just up and leave and no longer continue the experiment? Z comes out and says, no, I've had so many urges to just pick up and go and leave the experiment. This was at the beginning of her marriage when things weren't going as she had hoped. She felt like exiting when she was having that altercation on the boat, the boat ride from hell. She, for the first time, thought I could just leave this experiment and I wouldn't have lost anything. Khutso wanted out the night before they had come to Haarties. He even says in his diaries that if the retreat wasn't so far away and it was closer to home, he would have left a long time ago. So the fight comes up between Thabang and Makhumo, the one they had at the pit stop they had, lunch pit stop thing they had in front of Boitshepo and Sebenzile. And Thabang expresses that he was very disappointed that they had the fight right there in front of Pamgwabantu, and that he isn't entirely convinced that Makhumo is committed to their marriage. And that's where episode 7 ends, guys. So do make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell so that you are notified every time I post. And down below, tell me what you think of Thabang and Makhumo. Do you think they're serious? Do you think that they are playing in our faces? Do you think they were just brought onto the show as clickbait for the younger viewers to come in and watch the show? Are they too manje and too not ready for marriage for the show? Please tell me below. Guys, I hope you enjoy. I really do. I hope you also like my hair. Do you like my hair? Do you like it? Do you like it, bruv?